It's your girl, Michelle D.I., Mrs. Divine Intervention herself. To all my helper bees out there, you know who you are. Those that are always helping everyone else and neglecting yourself. Yes, boo, look in the mirror. I'm talking to you. Here to let you know God has not forgotten about you. I've been sent on divine assignment. It's time for Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That means 30 minutes for your mind, your body, spirit, and emotions. And don't act like you don't have time. You have time for everyone and everything else. Sit back and relax because if you're here, that means this show is for you or it's for someone you know. But most likely, it's for both of y'all. Deep breaths, love. Let's go. Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl, Mrs. Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Mrs. Michelle D.I. Why? You know, boo, for divine intervention. Because there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl's going to give you the good information, boo. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And y'all know if y'all are hearing my voice, it is Monday and we're on the radio. Yes, Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free, honey. We are on the radio, and your girl is always happy and grateful and just feeling so blessed about it. Well, we have been talking, family. We have been talking. Last week, we talked about uh, the spirit realm. We talked about spiritual warfare. And this is something that is really, really near and dear to my heart because if you don't know that you're in spiritual warfare, you really don't know that you are in spiritual warfare, that you are being attacked. You would just think life is crazy. Maybe life is lifing, right? We hear all of the terms and all of the things. And so this is really, really near and dear to me because I call it going and being and doing. Y'all heard me say it before. You're going to work, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing all the things, you're going, you're being everything and everything that you can be for everyone else. Your Superman cape is on. Ladies, your Superwoman cape is on. You're doing all the things and you're doing it phenomenally. Okay. Uh might not be sleeping well, might not be eating the best, right? But you are handling your business and taking care of all the things for everyone as you're going, you're being, and you're doing. And uh, I know that I was going and being and doing. Y'all have heard me share this before for everyone else, right? Except for me. And so today, I want to talk a little bit about staying in that spiritual warfare. I want to talk a little bit about being stuck, about the feelings of feeling stuck. That means you really are on autopilot. You're doing everything for everyone else, but when it comes to maybe some dreams that you have that you want to walk in purpose, the things that God has laid in your heart to do, for whatever reason, you just can't quite pull it together, right? You may be thinking about it, dreaming about it. You have this idea, but for whatever reason, it's just not quite coming together. Maybe you're feeling like you're stuck in quicksand, like everything is just moving on up without you, right? And you feel like you're sinking and staying in a same place. Maybe you're in a place of complacency. Right. Like I was back in 2018. I didn't realize because I was going to church every Sunday, right? I was singing in the choir. I was helping the pastor, doing all the things. I was doing all the programs, being the MC, I was doing all of the things, right? And so I'm going to work every day. I'm helping everyone. Y'all know your girl is a nurse. And so, I'm helping all the people. I'm doing all of the things. Are you doing all of the things except for what God has called you to do? Mhm. And that might be like really strange, right? Because you feel like, well, I'm in the church. I'm doing, but is there something else? God has given you a vision. He has given you work. He has given you purpose. You have a gift that you are not utilizing. Why is that? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Why is that? I'm talking to you. Look in the mirror. You driving? I'm talking to you. Why are you doing that? How long has it been since you've actually put some action to the gift that God has given you? How long has it been since you looked at that plan? How long has it been? Mhm. No judgment. No, 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 no. It ain't that. No judgment. But do you feel stuck in that thing? Do you feel frozen? Do you feel like you want to do something, but you can't figure out why? This episode today, I'm going to call Frozen but Not Broken. Frozen but Not Broken. I don't know if this is the reason why, but the Lord laid this on my heart to share because there are a lot of people out there that are grieving someone that is alive. hmm Grieving someone that's alive. It is when people that you rarely talk to, that you used to talk to, that you're used to, relationships that you used to have are no longer exist, and you're still trying to go on, right? You're still trying to act like it's a little different when those people are not here anymore, right? Because you can't have the conversation, or in your mind you think you can't have the conversation. They're in the spiritual realm, honey. You can still talk to them. I'm just saying. But you know what I mean? It's a little different when they've gone on to be with the Lord. But when the people are still here, hmm, how does that work? Yeah, we're going to dig into that a little bit today. Maybe it is, some your mother or your father. Maybe it is a sibling that has shut you out. Maybe it is someone in your family who just stopped showing up emotionally. Yeah, I'm talking to somebody today. You've got ideas, you have dreams, but you feel stuck and you feel frozen. Honey, this episode is for you. What you are going through, there are different types of grief. This type of grief is called ambiguous grief. Ambiguous grief is the pain of mourning someone who is physically alive but emotionally absent. You don't get the closure, right? You don't get clarity. You're stuck loving someone that you can't reach. It's hard. I really do know this feeling. And it makes you feel as if, am I supposed to move on? Because you are waiting. They're still here, right? And so you're waiting for the relationship to get better, maybe subconsciously in your mind. You haven't really out loud said that thing, but that is maybe and possibly the reason why you're feeling stuck, right? I'm grieving my brother. I have an older brother. My nephew passed away a few years ago, and my brother has been grieving and trying to respect his grieving process, right? I talked about this the other day, a couple of weeks ago, about my dad, right? Trying to respect my dad's grieving process. But I miss my dad. I miss my brother, right? Um, I have nieces, you know what I mean? And it's not just one thing, right? It's always layers in that thing, when with siblings, it's not just one thing. But the point of the matter is that I miss my brother. I have cousins that are grieving, that were in my life, that are going through their own grief. And so they just kind of disappeared. I miss my cousin. I have nieces, right? My niece is grieving the loss of her brother. And you have to try to find a way to respect everyone's grieving process. to give them their space. But sometimes it's not even that they're grieving. Sometimes y'all might have just had an argument, right? Y'all may have just had a disagreement, or maybe y'all just grew apart. Maybe it's a friend that you're used to talking to, right? Whatever it is, um, it will make you feel some kind of way because they're still here. And so for a long time, I felt like I wasn't allowed to be happy. This is very subconsciously. I didn't say this out loud, right? But it was showing up in my actions because I would get so far and then I would feel very stagnant, not able to move. So I felt like I wasn't allowed to be happy until those relationships were fixed. But I need you to understand today because somebody out there is feeling the same way. Somebody is stuck in that thing waiting for, the phone call, waiting for the conversation, waiting, right? And you're stuck. But healing doesn't always wait on reconciliation. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Your healing cannot wait for the reconciliation. If you feel frozen, like you can't act on your ideas, it is not laziness. A lot of times you'll get caught up because you want to do stuff. You'll have it. I would have so many plans and so many thoughts and so many things and trying to figure out why I can't just bring it all to fruition because I have it in my mind. I might have even written it down. It's all there, right? It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It might be your body's response. It's a trauma response. It's called freeze. There are 4 responses to trauma, and y'all know we're on the radio, so we only have 30 minutes. So I'm going to break this down a little bit more on the podcast when we have a little bit more time. The 4 stages of trauma, your body's responses to trauma is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. We're going to focus on freeze today because when grief or emotional trauma hits us, your brain goes into protection mode. And so it shuts everything down and it says, hey, 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 mm-mm. It's not safe. It's not safe, right? So if you're asking yourself questions like, I don't know where to start, you have a project, I don't know where to start, you want to do something, I don't know where to start. In your subconscious mind, what if I succeed and leave them behind? I'm not supposed to be happy. These are my people, right? They're supposed to come with me. So I can't do what I need to do until that's fixed because I can't go without them, right? I can't be happy without them. Oh no, 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 no. I've gone my whole life with these friends, these people, my family, whoever it is, right? I'll wait until it doesn't hurt anymore. This is all in your subconscious mind, but understanding that healing doesn't come from waiting, it comes from gentle movement. And so, what can we do about this? One way to process grief is by writing a letter to the person you're grieving, even, this is key, even if they're still alive. You have to get that thing out of you. I call it what's in the pit of your belly, right? It's holding you hostage. You're frozen, you're stuck, you can't move. At least you feel frozen and stuck and you can't move. You have all these emotions, all of these things that you want to say whenever this conversation is going to happen is hadn't happened in the past 3, 4, 5 years, and you're still waiting and stuck. So you can write a letter, and the key to the letter is writing an honest letter, pouring out your heart, saying everything that you need to say. There is not a plan to give them the letter, right? But the release happens just from getting all of that stuff from out of you, out of your belly. And so you don't need their permission to express your pain. This is huge. This is so huge. If you want to have a conversation, or if you want to feel like you're having a conversation, you can record yourself making a video, right? You can use your voice recorder on your phone and just say whatever you need to say. Talk like you having a conversation. Put that picture up in front of you. You will be so surprised. I'm not telling you anything that's just like, what? This girl, what? No, this is cognitive behavioral therapy. Y'all have heard me talk about this in the past. This is a cognitive behavioral therapy technique that really works. You will be surprised how much better you feel because it gives you a release in the pit of your belly. You will feel a release from getting all of those words, all of that anger, all of the emotion that you have trapped inside of your body out of you. Another thing is just giving yourself permission to heal, right? This brings about peace, just giving yourself permission to heal. Your peace doesn't dishonor the struggle. It doesn't take away, it doesn't mean that you don't love that person. Your healing doesn't mean that you're forgetting them. It means that you're choosing life. This is one of the reasons why I came up with Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. This is actually how I came up with it because it was okay, I never choose me. I've always lived my life helping and doing and being for someone else. And that's not to say that I feel bad about that, right? It's just a reality, and that's just an acknowledgement that I had to sit up when I look back over my life, when I just looked at everything, and why was I feeling so taken for granted? Why was I feeling so, all of these emotions that I was feeling? It was because I have always poured, I have always given, I have always done, right? When you feel like you're going and being and doing for some people and you're being taken for granted. Say, for instance, right? You're feeling some kind of way about a situation. You have an argument, something happens, and all these words are left unsaid. You start storing all of that. You start storing all of that. And so it is a way that I realize, man, I've been doing this all my life. And so you have to take a minute. What have you been doing all your life? Right? It is taking an inventory, taking in this self inventory. What are you doing, and why are you doing that? Right? Not to beat yourself up, but to give yourself some grace in your healing process. But it starts with being honest with who, boo? With you. Y'all know on the Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free under the podcast tab, I have a series. It is in the relationship series. It is the very first one. It is a girl in the mirror. She's looking. And so it is the relationship series where I talk about getting to know you, the beginning process. So y'all know I don't have time to go into all that, but check it out because again, if you are a helper, be like me, right? You're always going, you're always pouring, you're always doing. We do neglect ourselves and we don't even realize it. And this is just who you are. And so then you feel guilty about taking this time to heal for yourself. And you can't do that, right? You can't do that. Let me say this again. Your peace doesn't dishonor their struggle, nor does your healing doesn't mean forgetting them. It means choosing life. And this is an affirmation that I'll just want you to write it down. I am allowed to move forward even if others stay behind. Put that thing on the mirror in the bathroom, wherever you need to put it. Put it across your phone so it just rings a ringtone or whatever you need to do. I said, I am allowed to move forward even if others stay behind. Even Jesus healed people before they said sorry. You don't need closure to find peace. You don't need closure to find peace. I think we're built and we believe that we're supposed to have closure or whatever. And sometimes that just doesn't happen. So what are you going to do? Continue to stay frozen and continue to play small, continue to put your dreams on hold, that is not an option. So we're going from frozen to flow. How do we do that? You start small, right? With just one thing, just one thing. So if you're an artist, just start drawing, right? Just start drawing. If like me, you're a writer. If you're like me, you're coming up with programs, or whatever it is that you're doing, just start doing something, but start small. Write your journal entry out, right? Light a candle for yourself. When I started this journey, I got very intentional, and I said, one of the things that I realized, because I was so emotionally broken for a period of time, one of the things that I realized is that I was complaining about everything. I was irritable. I was just not myself, right? And so generally when people, whoever, you know me, I generally stay in a place of gratitude whenever I'm always trying to find the positive into something, positive in the crazy, right? Well, this period of time, I just was not. I was empty. I was just drained. Ew, I didn't have it, right? And so I joined this gratitude class. And somebody said, "What? You joined Yeah, I joined a gratitude class every day. We talked about gratitude. That is on the podcast. That is under the podcast tab as well. It is, oh, what is that series called? I can't remember. It's not Faith Walk, it's another one. But nevertheless, we're reading the book The Magic, is a gratitude book every day. I wish I could remember the lady's name to give her credit. But nevertheless, so I'm joining this gratitude class, and one of the instructors, she gave us an assignment to take ourselves out, to do something for ourselves, right? And one of the challenges was to either go buy yourself something, or go take yourself out to lunch or dinner, but do something that you like to do, right? And so I was like, oh, okay, this is weird, but all right. And so I went to Dakota's, right? I made a reservation. I went to Dakota's. I had me some salmon, some asparagus, and I think some mushrooms, and a glass of wine. And I sat in Dakota's, and in my gratitude, I was thinking about, because they were saying, write a person that you feel maybe may have touched your life in some kind of way, and they were naming famous people. So for me, it was Tyler Perry. I feel like just from being early divorced, one of the very things that I remember Tyler Perry saying is that people are going to come and go in your life. This is like one of his very first plays. And it's always stuck with me. It's at the end when he, Medea, and he's kind of breaking everything down. And he said, what we mess up at is that we try to make seasonal people, we try to make, seasonal people lifetime partners. Right. And it just helped me because, of course, at that point I was going through a divorce. And so I remember, like, man, and it just brought me back to that. So I'm sitting in this place of gratefulness, and I'm at Dakota's, and I'm writing this thank you letter to Tyler Perry. And then I sat there, and man, just I felt so good. But I remember tears of joy coming down my face because I would have never done anything like that, you know, just to do something for myself. And it felt very, very good. And so, again, just doing something small, right? Just for yourself. I don't buy myself things, right? And it's just because I'm used to giving to my kids and for everybody else and all the things. Like, I don't know. I got to look some more into that, or where that actually comes from, but I just don't. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make a conscious effort to once a month buy me something, right? Do something for me. So I go get my toes done. I'll go get a massage. I will, you know what I mean? So small steps from frozen to flow. Start small, just one thing. Write a journal entry, light a candle, right? Create a folder for your dreams. Yeah, for my people all on purpose. Create a folder for your dreams. Speak life over your name, right? Do one thing that brings you joy, guilt free. And remember that you are thawing. You are not broken. So, here are some encouraging scriptures as we come to a close that I want you to just deposit in your spirit and maybe even look at and go over your own scriptures. What scriptures do you love? My favorite and my foundational scripture, for everything that I do with Reflections Choosing Me, is Romans 8 and 28. For we know that all things work together, the good, the bad, and the crazy, right? It's all working together. So whether people are coming and going in your life, just putting it in perspective, get into a place of gratefulness where I can thank God for the time that I shared with my father. Things are different, right? But I can thank God for the time that we had. I can thank God for the time that I had with and shared with my brothers, for the time that I had with my nephew that passed away, for the time that I have with my nieces. You know what I mean? So bring some positive into your crazy. And then always go back and revert to what? The Bible, honey. Everything is in there that we need. So any encouraging thing of whatever you're going through, know that it's already been talked about and God gives us what we need in the Bible. So here we go. Isaiah 41 and 10. This is the NIV version, y'all. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed. Yes, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That is for us that feel so alone in a situation. You feel like, man, somebody's supposed to be here helping me. God is with you. I felt so alone during these times, right? Because I'm used to calling my cousin. I was used to talking to my brother. I was used to, you know what I mean, talking to my dad. And so what? But I still had my mom. I still have another brother. I still had other relationships. It's just what I was focused on. So, what are you focused on? Right? The Lord said, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Psalms 41 and 2 says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he turned to me and heard my cry. God is there, honey. He lifted me out of the slimy pit and out of mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. Won't he do it? Yes, won't he will? Galatians 5 and 1. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened against by a yoke of slavery. Understanding that these spiritual warfare, that these things that come upon us, this grief, it is just a mirage to make you feel and think that you are alone. But honey, know that the devil is busy, and it is just a mirage. Isaiah 43 and 18 says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? The Lord said, I'm here. Don't you see me? Don't you see me? Yes. So we know 2 Corinthians 10 and 4, the weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish the strongholds. Deuteronomy 31 and 6 will end on that one. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Remember, family, that you are frozen but not broken. Okay? We are healing together, y'all. I know it's some uncomfortable conversations, but they are necessary. And understand that you are not alone. Well, family, this has been another divine intervention. Thank you for tuning in to Reflections, Choosing Me Guilt Free with your girl, Miss Michelle D.I. Every week, we will have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations as it relates to your mind, your body, your spirit, and emotions. You suffered long enough. It's time to break free. So join me every Monday at 1 p.m. right here on KGLD Radio, where you can fill your spirit with gospel all day long. See you next week.